Have you ever fancied sewing a shirt for a man? Continue watching this video and I will give you some hints and tips on sewing this Simplicity 8180. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Sam and this is Frugalisama, where I talk about all things sewing. Today I am going to talk about this man's shirt, which is Simplicity 8180. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who's subscribed so far and watched and liked and commented on all my other videos. If this is the sort of thing that you like to watch, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell below and it will tell you when I'm making new videos. In general, I've been making videos Monday to Friday, just releasing them on a Wednesday and a Friday as part of a 100 Days of Sewing series, where I share my love of sewing with people, sharing hints and tips and tutorials, how accessible and affordable sewing can be. So on to today's video. So I talked about making this shirt in my summer sewing plans. This is a Lady McElroy Coleman boutique, and I'm not going to mention where I bought it from because I didn't get a very good customer service, so I'm not going to recommend them. Essentially, my friend saw this shirt. It was the garment of the week in the Great British Sewing Bee holiday week, which Mark made. And she, as soon as she saw it, she asked me if I would make it for her husband's 50th birthday, which is tomorrow. So I need to get this recorded and up so that we can give it to him. And I said yes. I fancied a change of making a shirt for a man. I've never actually made any men's clothing at all, so I thought it would make a nice change. So the pattern is the Simplicity 8180, and what a great little pattern it is. You've got a short sleeve shirt, a long sleeve shirt, boxer shorts and a tie, but also it comes in boys and men's sizes as well. So you've got quite a big size range. So for the boys, the small is 22 inch up to 26, 27 inch, and the men's starts at 34 inch right up to the extra large, which is 46 to 48 inch. That's a chest. So you get a lot of bang for your buck on this pattern. I didn't buy it, so I think it's about £8 or £9 online. But you get quite a lot of value for money on that pattern, really. So I only actually made the shirt. I didn't make any of the other garments, so I can't talk about it. So talk about those. But it's a good value little pattern, is that. So because the shirt is a surprise for his birthday, I've not been able to actually measure her husband to be able to know whether it fits or not. So what happened is she measured off one of his favourite holiday shirts, sent me the measurements of those. I compared that then to the back of the packet, and it turned out that it was almost identical to the sizes of the medium, which are for a body measurements of a 38 to 40 inch chest, a 32 to 34 inch waist. And then your finished garment measurements then for the medium are 40, and this is what we were comparing really, 47 inch chest, a finished back length of 27 inches. Those are just the measurements that I had to go by. So during the sewing weekend, which was May or June, I actually toiled the shirt just to make sure that it sewed up okay, make sure that I knew what I was doing, and that the measurements came out okay. So this is the toile, and I shared that. I think I shared that on my sewing plans video as well, my summer sewing plans video as well. I know some people probably wouldn't make the whole garment up, but this fabric was so nice that it seemed a shame just to cut into it and not finish it off. So what I did is I finished it off because it's quite plain. My husband can wear that as well. The only thing that I left off, but there is a little button loop that's supposed to go there on the collar. and it just looked a bit naff, so I actually put it on this shirt and took it off again and didn't bother putting it on this shirt at all. So it's a great little pattern if you're wanting to improve your skills, because in reality you're not actually doing a great deal of fitting. It's a camp style collar. You've got it's quite a loose fitting shirt. You can see with the ease there for a medium of 38 to 48 inches. You've got a finished garment measurement of 47 inches. You've got a good sort of 7, 8, 9 inches perhaps of ease around the chest, and that's because it's a holiday shirt. You don't want anything particularly tight. When you're on holiday, you want it fairly loose fitting, but obviously you can't just go in and make the largest size, because for some people that just wouldn't work. You need to have a vague idea, but it's not a fitted garment, so therefore it's a bit easier to make. In terms of skill level, I would say that this is good for a confident beginner, somebody who's looking to improve their skills. You've got buttons and buttonholes. You've got a collar, but there's no collar stand. It's a flat collar, so quite relatively easy to insert, and the sleeves are actually inserted on the flat as well. So relatively easy, and then you can build your skills by doing like I did. I did French seams, make sure the pocket was matched up, and you could put poppers down here instead of buttons. It depends on what skill level you're at and what you're prepared to do. So yeah, in terms of how easy it is to come together, for me, I didn't struggle with it. The instructions are actually pretty good. For the big four patterns, the instructions are pretty good. Who on earth thought that this was going to be made in 3 hours? I really don't know. I've made the toile probably in half an afternoon, because I didn't do French seams. This took me the best part of a day. I would say I had something around about 8 hours of sewing with this. So don't be disheartened if you see something that says it's got 3 hours on and it's taking you longer. Take as much time as you want to take. That's my advice. I mean, people might be faster sewers than me and get it done in no time, but for me, this took me all day. And one of the reasons is because I took my time over the French seams and things like that. So if you're looking to improve your skills and you want to up your ante a little bit, as part of my 100 days of sewing, I've done tutorials for doing French seams, which are just on the flat, but I've also done an extra tutorial for doing a French seam around an armhole. I'd never actually done a French seam around armholes before. I'm not quite sure why, but because it was inserted in the flat, and I really wanted to have a nice finish, and I will put I'll turn it around and show you. So I've also put together a little tutorial for matching the pocket up as well, and essentially all you're doing is tracing around the main parts of significant parts of the pattern and lining it up with your pocket. But if you want a little tutorial on that, I've done that as well. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that I haven't pattern matched across the front, and that was a decision between myself and my friend. Basically, it's a waste of fabric, and if you watched the Great British Sewing Bee episode when this shirt was on, you will see the judges going completely loopy about how well Mark matched his pockets. I think he had one on each breast as well, but he didn't match his fabric down the front neither. This fabric's expensive, the pattern repeat is massive, and we both decided that it wasn't worth the fabric. But it can be done. It's not that it can't be done, it's just that it's a waste of fabric in my opinion. So we decided between us that we didn't need to do that. I have got some of the fabric left. It does say you need just over 2 meters of fabric for this, and I think we just ordered 2 meters, and I've got about, I don't know, half a meter left. So, and that's probably because I didn't pattern match, that I've got some of that left. And then you need 6 buttons, or actually I only put 5 on because the 6th button would be for that loop there, so I didn't put the extra button on. And interfacing, so it's suitable for cottons, broadcloth chambray, cotton types, gingham, pinwheel corduroy, which will make a nice cosy shirt, and poplin, and then it just says extra fabric for matching stripes and patterns. So yeah, just a nice cotton, and it will make up a nice holiday shirt. So another little technique I used is sewing my buttons on with a sewing machine, and I've gone into that a little video about that as well. And that is just essentially dropping your feed dogs and putting the machine on a zigzag, and it stops the fabric from pulling through, keeps it in position. And once you've lined up those holes there, you can do that on the machine. So it's just I sew all my buttons on like that, providing they haven't got a shank on them. I just find it so much quicker. I can get 5 or 6 buttons on in less than 5-10 minutes. If you've got any problems with buttonholes, also I've got a little video about that as well. There's a little added extra because I had some extra fabric. I just made a little face mask as well. I'm willing to bet is the only fella that's got a matching shirt and face mask. So I'm going to bob that in the pocket as a little extra surprise for him. He'll probably think it's a handkerchief or something like that, so I thought that'd be a bit of fun. So I'll just show you the insides now. So you've got your French seams all on your sleeves there, top of your shoulder, down the sides there, your facings and your hem. So it's nice and clean on the inside. And there's just one little added extra. I don't know if you watched my original video, but I was putting a call out on how to do a bespoke label. And I also posted on Instagram as well, and somebody came up with the idea of doing it on a heat transfer. So that is his little label. He's a lifelong Leeds United fan. I believe they've done something special this year, Champions League, Championship, I don't know, I don't do football, but I thought I'd just include that for him as a little extra surprise, and my friend doesn't know about that neither. By the time this video goes up, he will have received it. So that label is just printed on some twill tape that I bought. If you've been watching any of my videos, especially about the Great British Sewing Bee, I talked about doing a hidden placket on a rugby shirt, and I bought the twill tape for that. I haven't got around to doing the rugby shirt yet. It will be done at some point when the weather turns a bit cooler, because my son wants it, and it's been a bit warm for that sort of thing at the moment. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty chuffed with this. It's been a good exercise for me to sew something for somebody else. Hopefully it'll fit, with it all being French seams, because getting those unpicked will be a bit of a monkey. But it can be done. I'd just rather not. Yeah. One little oddity on this, when you do the hem, so essentially you would sew that hem at 5/8 of an inch and then turn it through and carry on sewing all along at that 5/8 of an inch to give yourself a guide of how to where to sew the hem. And with it being such a deep curve, it's actually quite a useful technique, is that. So yeah, hopefully it'll fit him, because French seams are very pleasant for unpicking, and I shall now take it to them and present it to them, and hopefully by the time I've got this video up and edited, we can have some pictures of him wearing it, fitting him hopefully. Let me know below if I've encouraged you to have a go now. I really don't think there's anything particular. If you've already done buttons and buttonholes, then there's nothing really especially difficult about this shirt at all. You don't have to do the French seams. You can finish on your overlocker or zigzag. One thing I will say about French seams is, if you don't have an overlocker, then on something like this, it gives you a really good finish, and you don't need any specialist equipment. All you do for a French seam is, if you've got a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, is you sew the wrong sides together first at 3/8 of an inch, trim that seam allowance down to 1/8 of an inch, give it a good press, and then sew again at 1/4 of an inch. So you've actually sewn twice, so it gives you a really secure seam and it gives you a really tidy seam, and that's why I like to do them for special people. I don't usually do it for myself, but it just gives an extra special finish, I think. If this is the sort of content that you like, please like and subscribe. If you click the notification bell, it will let you know when I'm making new videos. That's it from me today. Please let me know if I've inspired you to make your first men's shirt, or whether you've made them before and you're an old hand at it. If you've got any hints and tips below, please leave a comment, and I will speak to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.